Jessica,
Hi.
good morning.
Mhm.
Hi. Great to see you. Thank you.
You
Thank
too.
you for, taking the time to talk with us today. And I can, only imagine how busy you might be right now, working on your new book and perhaps all the other kind of projects that you have. I've really been a fan of your work, and I've, listened to you interview and really talk about your mission with this one part plant movement. But I know that it's so much more than just getting people to incorporate one plant-based meal a day. Can you share a little bit about kind of your story and your overall mission with the one part plant
Yeah,
movement?
of course. Well, thanks for having me here. And I also am
Yeah.
looking for any distraction right now to not write. So this is perfect. So I have something called endometriosis, and I was debilitated by this condition and was supposed to get a hysterectomy about 8, 9 years ago. And then I changed my diet. And then that diet helped me get out of bed. And then I was able to move my body again. And then there was all these new things that I was exploring. And I think that when I changed my diet, it was one of the hardest things that I've ever done before. I thought that during that change, getting the surgery might just be easier than having to change my diet. You have all these outside forces of friends when I'm going to go out to dinner and going to dinner at friends' houses, and all of a sudden you feel like I don't even know what to do. So it took me a while to sort of figure it out. And so that's one of the reasons why I created One Part Plan, is because I struggled so much that I wanted to help other people not struggle as much as I did. So just introducing one plant-based meal a day, maybe that turns into two, maybe that turns into three, until you get to a point where it becomes your norm, as opposed to just saying, start eating this way today, like never eat this again. Because it's really challenging to do that.
Making it more approachable for people.
Right.
And I love that. That's like the beauty of plant-based nutrition, is that it helps with so many aspects of our health, how we feel, how we sleep, how we move,
Yes.
so much. And that's just, one thing that it's helped you with. What helped you to start incorporating more plant-based meals?
I think one of the first things I did was try to find foods that I actually really liked, which I know sounds like duh, but I think that you just think that like now you're in this lane of boring. So I think it is taking things that I already loved and figuring out how to make them plant-based. So lasagna, cookies, curry, like kind of all my favorites, and just figuring out how to make them plant-based. Because, I think that, you can obviously look at food from are you going to be fat or skinny standpoint. But I think that the way that I started was choosing foods that didn't hurt my body. That to me was the mental shift, because I had tried a million diets before unsuccessfully, but I was doing it for, I think, a reason that was an outside surface reason, and not something that was an inside reason.
So having a real why for the change.
Sure.
Yeah, that's super important. And seeing it as not as restrictive, but seeing it as kind of liberalizing what you're eating, just finding those kind of go-to recipes for those comfort foods that you're eating before. I want to ask you about maybe some recipes that you're making now, but I have to tell you that your vegan mushroom lasagna recipe has become such a staple in my family. Ever since you did the cooking demo at Synchronicity and we tasted it. I made it for my parents for our Christmas Eve dinner, and they loved it. And it was perfect because it's like red and green, and it's festive, but it's so like savory, but it's all whole plant-based foods. And I probably have, the ingredients memorized by now, but it's really passed around my family. So
have you done anything to mix it up or put your own spin on it?
Added some zucchini layers and some peppers. I've done that. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But gosh, that sauce is so good.
Oh, good.
What are some recipes that you're making now? Like, being home and with your family?
It's crazy because I'm not usually, I think people are so good at this batch cooking thing. It's never been something that I've ever really done. But so I've been really strategic about, okay, we're buying this broccoli for this dish and also this dish. So one thing that I've been making a lot, and I think as a nutritionist, you would maybe love this one. It's from this book called The Living Kitchen, and I can give you guys a link to it. They have the recipe online, and all it is broccoli, coconut milk, onion, veggie broth, and that's it actually. And it's like the simplest recipe of all time. You can, make cook up the broccoli and the garlic with a little bit of coconut oil or whatever you want to use. And it's, the book is actually a book of plant-based recipes and recipes for people that are healing and going through cancer. And so all the recipes are super, super healing. Like obviously you don't have to be in remission or going through treatment to use them. And I don't know, they're all very simple. They just feel just super healing and nourishing right now. So, and it has 5 ingredients. So yeah.
That sounds wonderful. I know like cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, just have specific, compounds in them that are cancer fighting.
Oh, really?
Like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, that whole family of cruciferous foods. It's like sulforaphane. I may have mispronounced it, but it has like cancer fighting properties. So
that one is one.
Check out the site.
Yeah, and it's just, it's something that you can make. I just keep it in a jar, and it's usually what I just have for lunch for the week, basically. And if you do want to add protein or whatever your thing is, you can easily do that. And I think that's the other thing that so many people talk to me about is ask me, it's like, well, the rest of my family eats meat, but I want to eat this way. And I think, something that you can always do is just kind of use protein as like a topper or an add-on versus like eating the dish, because for, I think a lot of people that have kids or big families and they're like, I don't want to make 2 or 3 dinners. I want to make one, but I want to eat plant-based. So I think it's a good way to kind of ease your family into it.
Yeah. Make the animal protein like the accent.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to show you two books that I've been liking a lot. This book has been amazing. And then this
beautiful
book is, I feel like you would love this book. Have you gotten this one?
No.
Okay.
Whole food cooking every day.
It is so amazing. It has this thing called a cauliflower bake. It kind of tastes like mashed potatoes that you lay on top. So this is just all cauliflower that's whipped.
Oh my gosh. It looks beautiful.
And then you can kind of choose what you want your filling to be. And I did this really great French lentil, tomato, kale, and capers. And then
so it's like underneath.
Yeah, so that's underneath, and then you put the cauliflower, like mashed potato stuff on top, and you bake it all in the oven, and it's just, it kind of like, it looks like that.
That looks wonderful.
It's so good. I cannot recommend this book enough.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are two that I've been liking. One very elaborate, one more simple.
I love it. We'll include those links. Yeah, when you send them. Yeah. Well, thank you. Where can people find you?
You can, if you're an Instagram social media person, I'm at Jessica Murnane. For my endometriosis work, it's at Know Your Endo. And then I have a podcast called One Part Podcast. So just go to jessicamurnane.com and you'll kind of find everything there.
Great. Awesome. Well, thanks for connecting today. It was great talking with you.
Thanks.
All right.